If you're in the market to buy a new table saw for your shop, but you don't want to spend thousands of dollars, this table saw might just be the one for you. Let's talk about it today on Salty Woodworking. I bought this saw about 2 years ago and it has been my daily driver since then. Now, is it a perfect saw? No. Is it very good for the price? Absolutely. So today we're going to go over the good, the bad, if I would buy it again, and if you should buy it. Let's get started and let's talk about the goods. Now, even though this is a cheap table saw, don't let it fool you and think that it's not going to be a powerful saw. I mainly work with hardwoods and this thing cuts through it like it's nothing. That's definitely a good part about it. Bad part about it, the blade that comes with it is terrible. Now, that's for most table saws you buy. The blades are absolutely garbage. I'll link below the blades that I use for this saw. They're relatively cheap, about 30 to 40 bucks, and I mean, they'll make this saw cut through hardwood like absolute butter. Now, another good part about this saw is it is a job site saw, so it's portable. Now, I never use the actual stand for it, but if you have a small shop and don't have a dedicated space, this is something you can easily fold up, get out of the way, so your wife doesn't kill you that you're taking up all the space with your table saw. Now, I have a whole workbench here that I built and I put my table saw into there, but that's something you could always add on later or, just keep it on the stand. Downside about it, with it being a job site saw, the outfeed table support is pretty, it's kind of not great because you only have about 6 inches, 7 inches of outfeed support. So integrating it into a workbench is most definitely recommended and helpful. Now, in my opinion, the best bang for your buck part about this saw, it's a rack and pinion fence. Helps if I unlock it, twist it, and you have gears on each side and a rack and pinion that keeps these moving on the same track. So the fence is extremely accurate for what it is. Is it machinist level accuracy? No. But for a $200 saw, it is fantastic. The only accuracy issues I've really had with this saw, if you don't use the metal block off plate, it can flex whenever you push a board across, and sometimes that can deflect your cut a little bit depending on what you're doing. More so for dados, but that is an issue that I have had in the past with this thing. But if you use the metal one, you never really have an issue. Which I'll be honest with you, I bought this saw almost 2 years ago, so I don't remember which plate it came with. I want to say it was the metal one, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't hold me to that. You can also take off the fence, and it has the option for this piece to come down here. So if you're past the extended amount of where the table saw support is, you can still support pieces of plywood or whatever lumber it is you're cutting. So that's something that was pretty good that they thought of when making the saw. And I've never really used it before because, like I said, I have a workbench I use, but I can see it being very helpful. Now we can move on to some things that I don't love about this saw, and to be completely honest with you, you're gonna run into this with majority of your job site saws. The angle adjustment isn't really that smooth. You can unlock it and then you kind of just got to move it by hand. It's not like, a big cabinet saw where it's on a rotating handle, so you can do fine adjustments for your angles. I use a magnetic angle gauge, so I can use that and make sure I get the exact angle that I want. Another good part about the saw I like, it actually has a safety switch on it, so you don't accidentally ever turn this on. You don't ever have to worry about walking into your shop, bumping it, and accidentally turning your saw on. It's got a safety switch that covers the on button, and it makes the cutoff switch actually bigger, so it's easy to just hit and turn off your saw. Another part that I don't love is the push stick. The one that it comes with is quite terrible. It's plastic, it's super flimsy. I worry that this thing is gonna break on me, not so much because of its plastic, but just because of the way that it's engineered and how flexible it is. Now, you can always, and I highly recommend, ordering some sort of aftermarket push stick. I'll put a link below for a few kinds that I recommend, or you can always 3D print one if you have a 3D printer. This is pretty well solid out of plastic, so this thing will never break on me, and I made it within a few hours at my house. So that's something else pretty cool to do. The other downside, which of course this is one of those things that relates to job site table saws again, and not just the skill saw in general, it is extremely loud. When I tell you it's loud, you're not using this thing without hearing protection. You definitely want to have some sort of headphones on. to protect your ears against this thing because it's loud. Another part that's not so great is the dust collection. Now I use a aftermarket hose that hooks up to this so I can actually use my dust collector on here, but it still doesn't have the best dust collection system in it. I guess it's the way it's designed and all the dust goes down. Depending on what you're cutting, a lot of dust will still fling out the top here, and it's kind of something you gotta live with. It's not miserable, but it's not great either. Now, do I think this is gonna be my forever saw, or if this would be your forever saw? Probably not. At some point you're gonna upgrade. At some point I would like to upgrade to a saw stop, but those are very expensive and the pockets aren't agreeing with me right now, so that's gonna have to wait a little bit longer. But for a beginner, and if you're definitely on a budget, this is a great saw to have. The portability, the power, the accuracy, it's a fantastic saw for the price. Of course it has its issues. It's not a multi-$1,000 saw. It's not gonna be perfect, but it's a great saw. And like I said, with a few small things, you can make the saw a lot better. Check the description of this video. I'm gonna have links to everything that I talk about in this video. I make a small commission off of it with no extra charge to you, so it helps the channel out a little bit. So if you do buy something from it, thank you. But I'll have everything listed in there to make this saw a little bit better. The blade, the push sticks, the angle gauge, it's really about it. I would definitely buy this saw again if I was in the market for my first table saw. And if you're in the market, I think it's a great buy for you. For the price, you really can't beat it. You have other brands out there that are double the price and are kind of spin-offs of this one, or this is a spin-off of them, whichever way you want to look at it. But for this price, if you're definitely not a brand name focused person, go for it. It's definitely worth it. I hope you found some value from this video, you learned a little bit, and you decide if this is a table saw you want to get or not. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below of what you think about it, and if you own one, and if you would recommend it to everybody. As always, get in your shop, build something, and stay salty.